Yes.
If we study the Gemara in Pesachim, tractate called All About Pesach, Daf Kuf Yud Tes 119. If you'll go to get a Schottenstein, you will see that when Yemot HaMashiach, Messianic days, there's going to be benching, and they're going to decide who gets to hold the cup of the chalice from the palace with the cup and to do Rabotai. And they're going to go from person to person, from spiritual giant to from Abraham, who had a son, Ishmael. No, not allowed. And then Yitzchak and Yaakov, and all the way down the line until it is chosen. Here's the cup to David HaMelech. It's a Gemara in Brachas, a Gemara in Pesachim 119. He's going to raise the cup and say the words from Tehillim, Kos Yeshuot Esa. I pick up the cup of salvation. The rabbis tell us in the Kabbalah, Kabbalistic Svarim, Esa, Aleph, Shin, Aleph, Esa is a hint to the biblical portion Vayera when the angel said, Aye Sarah Ishtecha. Where is Sarah, your wife? Is she hiding somewhere? Can we call her out? Rashi says two interpretations. We need Sarah in order to endear her in the eyes of her husband, to make her look important. And we also need Sarah to give her what? The cup. Kos Shel Bracha. We're ready to bench. So, Ayeh Sarah Ishtecha, when David picked up his cup, I will raise the cup of salvation, it connected the dots to the Sarah issue, Ayeh Sarah Ishtecha. It spells an abbreviation. What does one have to do with the other, asks Rabbi Shalom Ever in his class here at the Margate Shul of Margate, New Jersey, in our little shtibel. And as I say this, I am looking at the ocean view, of course, at the beautiful Marabu, Masecho Hashem. But what does one have to do with the other? The answer is, the only qualifications that did not negate David HaMelech, even though he came from a Moabite, what are the qualifications? He came from a Moabite woman and not a Moabite man. He would have been disqualified if he came from a Moavi. It would have been an improper marriage from his ancestry. And what is the reason why a Moabite woman is allowed? Because they stay home. They're not guilty of the infraction that they didn't come out to the war and greet you with food and donuts and Starbucks and coffee, because they stay home. Where do we learn that women stay home? We learn it from Sarah Imenu, because where was she? Ayeh Sarah Ishtecha Ayomer Hinei Bo'el. She stays in the tent where she belongs. King David says in Tehillim, Kol Kvoda Bas Melech, the princess is Penima. She usually stays inside. She's not a gadabout. She's not somebody that hits the streets and walks around in the middle of the city. She stays home. So once we've established from Sarah that she was in the Ohel, that gives impetus to the drash, to the sermonic material, that in the days of Moab, when we are not allowed to involve ourselves in marriage and mingle with them, it only applies to men and not women, because women were not guilty of that avera of not being hospitable. So that's why David is allowed to raise the cup. He has no disqualification in his genealogy. He's 100% pedigree, 100%. He's got good family tree from the days of Sarah, Ayeh Sarah Ishtecha, who established my ancestry. Moabite women stayed home and they are not going to cut the genealogical family tree. And that's why he said, Esa, Ayeh Sarah Ishtacha, which is the hint that women stay home, and that allows me to raise the cup and drink l'chaim and do the benching and do Birkat HaMazon.
Beautiful.
Okay, that's the connection. Vayera to King David's Gemara in Pesachim 119.
What about the gematria you said regarding? Okay,
gematria, that is, okay, so speaking of Moabites, when the daughters got together incestually with their father, and they said, Unechayeh me'avinu zera, let's have some offspring. She could have said, let's have some kids. It's the word zera, offspring. So the rabbis tell us in numerology, that phrase is how much? 450 465, I think. Unechayem avinu zera zeh melech hamashiach. This is the messianic, the Mashiach, king of Mashiach. So offspring, it wasn't let me have a son or a daughter. It meant an allusion, a hint, a remez to David HaMelech, the Davidic dynasty, and Melech HaMashiach. Nechayem avinu zara instead of Nechayem avinu ben, bat, neched, whatever. So that's the.
And also, you said something about the guy who said bad thing about the.
Oh, so I repeat the words of Dr. A worthy worshiper and congregant of ours who made us see him just a short while ago. His name is Dr. Robert Emes, and everything he says is Emes. That is, we all know that, okay? And those people that were listening to his seal and were not eating at the time, and heard his words that he quoted from his mentor, Rabbi Sholem Eber, who once said and quoted from the Igros Moshe, a sefer, volume 7, where Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, in his earlier stages of Rabbanut, of Dayanut in Russia, was called to a hospital to do the vidui to a man that was lying on his deathbed, going to die and expire any moment, and he revealed to Rabbi Moshe Feinstein why God punished him. He had a disease where his tongue actually was hanging out of his throat, and they couldn't push back, and he was just choking to death. The voice, the esophagus, everything was messed up. And he said, it was the portion Vayera. They were discussing Lot with his daughters, and he made a mockery of them, that all they cared about was sleep-in arrangements with their father, incest, they didn't care, and they just wanted to have intercourse. And it was a very derogatory statement that he made about the daughters of Lot. And the daughters came to him in a dream. He confessed to Rav Moshe Feinstein, how dare you speak? We had L'Shem Shemayim 1,000% to do it, to populate the universe, which was destroyed, we thought. And don't talk about us the way you did. And you're going to be punished.
Populate, they said? The father populate?
Yeah, yes, populate. Yes, the world. And that's why, and then he turned around to the wall, and he died right there and then, after the Vidui of Moshe Feinstein. So you do see everything in the Torah. Davidic, the Mashiach, Mishpacha, is Choshuv, is important, is Kaddish, is holy. And we are Zoicha, hopefully, someday, Bezrat Hashem, to see Zeh Melech HaMashiach b'meir Amen.
Amen.